Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody, and thank you for joining today for this new Sun Ballast webinar. Today we're going to talk about our new configurator, which is an evolution of our previous one. There are many surprises, so we're going to deepen this topic throughout this webinar. But first of all, let me thank you for, like all of you, for sharing your time with us today. I've seen the list, and let's say that most of you there, you are actually friends of the house. You know the product, you know Sun Ballast, you know also the configurator. So welcome back. Well, welcome back home, I would say. But a good solid 30% of you, you actually new. Okay, new to the product, new to the company. So welcome 2 times to you. Thank you for joining. I introduce myself. Antonio, that's my name. I'm the sales manager at Sun Ballast. And so today we're going to spend like roughly 30-40 minutes together talking about the product in general and of course the configurator. So the main surprise, recent surprise and recent product that we're actually launching. One important thing before we start, because I see that, okay, all the people are getting in, okay. Check audio and video just to be sure that you can properly see me and hear me clearly. So just use the chat, because we have a chat on the right, to tell me if everything is fine, audio and video. And also, in case all is good, okay, perfect, thank you for sharing the info. Use the chat also if you have questions, doubts, curiosities about the product, about the configurator. Just go ahead, write down your questions. If I have time during the webinar, I will answer your question, or in case it is not possible, we're going to send you an email anyway, or we're going to contact you by phone. So, but just at the moment, feel free to write down question, doubts, and curiosities. We also have a section with like a catalog, brochures of our products. So if you want to download and have a look at it like after, just go ahead, download the documents and okay, yes, hello. Many friends now are coming in. Okay, perfect. Okay. While we wait, because we're actually almost all in, let me quickly launch a poll so that we can properly understand the composition of our group today. So it would be nice to know if you are an installer, designer, distributor, or EPC. Okay, so to understand who are the people most interested in this new configurator. Okay, we got, all right, distributors, designers, of course. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, couple of minutes, couple of seconds actually, so that everybody can vote. We also have some installers. That is good, because of course the configurator might be something that logically designers use the most. But of course, within through our database, we have many installers actually working independently on the configurator. Okay, so most of you, okay, you're a designer mainly, and we also have installers and some distributors. Okay, that is good. That is good. We know who I'm talking to today. And another very quick poll is about, there we go, the configurator. Because as I said, now the question is, have you already used Sun Ballast PV design tool? This is the name of our new configurator. Okay, but of course, this is, as I said, an evolution of a configurator that we already had in the past. Okay, most of you say no. Okay, so as I said, it's an evolution. We have other features in the old configurator, and the new one is more, in a way, complete, and it gives you access to more tools. Okay, some of you already use that. That is good. Okay, interesting to know. Okay, I guess that everybody, yes, everybody voted. Most of you actually, in the end, most of you actually used the configurator already. Okay, good. But we're going to deepen anyway this topic. We're going to a little bit into details about some of the features that you have, and then of course I leave you the time to discover and find out how our configurator works. Okay, this is going to be explained by the end of the webinar, of course. Okay, so we can conclude this poll. Very good. And now I'm going to share the slide so that we can start talking about the topic. Now, since we have, as I said, a good 30% of the present new to the company and new to the system in general, I would like to give you some information about about the system in itself. Now, I think that everybody is now seeing the very first page of our presentation. So, Sun Ballast Elite PV Design Tool, that's the name of our configurator, and this is what we do, okay? Because of course, as you might know, the technical report is the main thing that makes us different from the competition. But what is the product that we sell is the one that you're seeing in this image, is the ballast, concrete ballast. To give you just a reference, we work only with a C3240 concrete, okay? Now, if you're into this industry, you know already, just by the reference, the quality of these concrete. But in case you're not, well, this is the highest quality for the purposes that we use our concrete for, okay? Main characteristics: no drilling on the roof. Of course, we do not drill holes on the roof. The only thing we do with these ballast is place them on the roof. Of course, for an extra protection, we give you rubber mats, okay? They're placed right under the ballast so that the ballast does not touch directly the roof, okay? So no direct touch. Rubber mats, the ballast, then of course you have to place the panel over the ballast. And you see here on the very top, M8 bushings. The M8 bushings, they pre-inserted, okay, into the ballast. Why is that good? That is good because the only movement that you have to do right after placing the ballast, the panel on ballast, is just screwing the bolts in. And that's it. The installation is done. So on an average, let's say for 4 panels, if you want to install 4 panels with our systems, you need 20 minutes, okay? This is extremely quick. Like the average, it is like 35 to 45 minutes with other structures. With our structure, instead, you need only 20 minutes. Now, when you get a quote, the main thing that you look at is the price. But bear in mind that with a system like Sun Ballast system, you can also save money on the installation time. And this is something that is not visible, but that has to be taken into consideration. Okay, so M8 bushing, no drilling on the roof, and of course, internal steel bar, you can see it. That is not useful for the installation in itself, but is very useful for the ballast instead, because it gives an extra strength, an extra resistance to the ballast itself. Because imagine if you're manipulating this ballast on the roof, or you're moving the ballast around the roof. If the ballast by accident falls down, well, it's not going to break into 2 pieces or crack open in 2 pieces, right? It's going to stay strong together. Now, this is just one example, okay? This is just one ballast, but as you can see in this page, we have over 40 models, 40 different ballasts, and they are organized in systems. We got actually right now 8 different systems. Now, why so many? Because the problems that you have on your roof, they're different. They vary a lot. You might have a roof with, I don't know, very fragile, maybe it's an old building, so you cannot have like a heavy weight on the roof. Or maybe you have a very tiny roof, okay? So you don't have much space to place panels, okay? All these kind of problems, well, we have solution adapting to the different problem. For instance, single row, the very first on the left, that's the most, let's say, traditional, classic system. Just panels and ballast. You got single row. Of course, you need to consider a distance between the rows to avoid the shadow. And I wouldn't say that this is the past. We still have installation with this system, but other system can easily replace and outwork the single row. For instance, one of my favorite systems is actually Connect. In the Connect system, as you can Clearly see in the image, the ballast and the panels all together, they are interconnected, okay? They help each other. It means that we can distribute the weight of the installation over the surface of the installation. What does that mean exactly? That we have an average weight per square meter of 25 kilos, including the weight of the panel. So it is almost like a single row, but extremely light. If you have an old building, an historical building, that's the system that you might think about to use, okay? Very light, and of course the weight is distributed. Sail system. Let's imagine you have a very small roof, but you want to optimize the production, okay? So you need many panels. If you work with a single row, you need to have a distance between rows for the shadow, but this is not the case if you have the sail system. 5-10 degrees, you can see the panels are almost attached one to the other. You only need like 5 centimeters distance between panel. How is that possible? If you have a look at the image, the inclination is the same. What it changes is simply the height of the horns of the ballast. Okay, the ballast is progressively higher and higher and higher. So that's why we can fit many panels in a very small surface. Okay, easy. So that's why I'm saying the single row is not the past, but we can replace this system with other ideas, with other solution. No flex. For instance, well, the no flex, let's say more than a system, it is like an accessories, to be precise. If you work with a large panel, so let's say from 190 centimeters and larger, on a horizontal pose, what is the problem? The problem is that the panel might crack, okay, because of gravity, or even if you get like a stroke of wind, okay, from the bottom up, the panel might crack on the other side. So to avoid the flexion and the cracking of the panel, you can use this central ballast. Is an additional ballast that is tightened to the panel thanks to clamps, and that's it. The central part is secured now, is protected. Okay, so from a technical point of view, it's a very, very good solution. We noticed that the market a little bit all over Europe is going towards like big panel today. So that is why we developed many solutions for large panel. So going from 190 centimeters to 240 centimeters. Well, yes, zero system, very quick. 2 words about this system. Is flash on the roof, and we developed this system for a very specific area of the south of Italy, because there it is better not to see the panels from the street, so we have to be like under, right below the parapet. So that's why the zero system is perfect for that area. Basically speaking, if we notice that the market in some areas, might be Spain, France, Germany, all over Europe, they need some special ballast. Of course, we can think about that and conceive a new ballast, okay, that let's say respond perfectly to the need that you have in your area. Okay, we did this for the south of Italy. We did this for Spain. We're doing something also for ground mounting system. Now to move on with the presentation of our system, Mono XL is more or less like a single row, but for large panel. We're actually working on a vertical pose. Okay, so 5 and 10 degrees, so that allows us to avoid the problem that we have in case we had to put the panels on horizontal pose. No need on a vertical pose, no need to secure the central area, okay, the central part of the panel. Industrial XL, 5 degrees only, vertical pose, system connect, more or less is like a brother system of the connect. So panels and ballast, they're interconnected, so we have a distributed weight over the surface of your installation that makes 30-35 kilos per square meter, panel included. And then again, the second favorite system that I personally is the Easy West, which is a let's say almost a revolution of an east-west system, because as you can see, it is a reticular systems like Connect and Industrial Excel. It means that ballast and panels, they work together, they're interconnected. But in this case, also we have an east-west. So we work on the large side, vertical pose, and the weight per square meter here is great. It's only 20 kilos, okay? Even less sometimes, depending also on the weight of the panel. So this is like an overview, very quick overview of our systems over 40 modules. And, well, I give you some numbers because Sun Ballast grew a lot. We started in 2012, and now we work in more than 40 countries. On average, we have more than 24,000 technical reports yearly. Okay, 24,000 technical reports. That is possible because we have a very big technical department, over 15 people working every day on projects. Okay, and that allowed us to help you with more than 65,000 installations. Okay, we sold over 5 million ballast, okay, in a bit over a decade. So we're actually working hard, growing. We have certification, as you can see on the bottom, TÜV Rheinland, ETN for France, American certifications. What happens? It happened that little by little, we conquered the Italian market, we expanded to Europe, and today in 2025, we actually work on 3 different continents. Europe, of course, US, we have a sister company in Florida, so US, and also in the north of Africa. We recently opened the sister company in Algeria. And this is possible not only for the ballast in itself, not only for the concrete that we chose, but mainly for the technical report. So the technical part is central, strategic for our company. And that is the very difference that makes us stand out in comparison to the competition. That said, we are going to get close to the core of this webinar. So we're going to talk about Sun Ballast L8 PV design tool. And this is what you have in our configurator, a product library. Of course, PV design is possible, and then you got quotes. Okay, now let's go a bit deeper into this this topic. Now, this configurator combines multiple features. You can work on the design of your installation, choosing the ballast, the system, the solar panels. Also, today you can work on the electrical part. Okay, it means that you save time because you can not only working on the design, but you also fix the electrical part, and at the same time, you get a list of material. You share the project with us, with our technical department, and we validate, verify your installation. That is very quick. What happens if we don't use the configurator? You have to contact us, give us the details of the project. We are going to develop the project and give you an offer and a technical report. Okay? It normally takes a couple of days. It's very quick, but even quicker is the configurator. You do the job yourself. Okay, so you insert all the data and we do the calculation, and that's it. It doesn't take 2 days. It takes way shorter time than that. So everything can be quicker and you can work in a more efficient way. Now, to give you an idea, okay, the product library, what does that contain? Well, of course, all our ballast and the systems, the accessories as well. You can choose clamps, rubber mats, of course, but in particular, the accessories like additional weight or double ballast, because according to the project, you might be willing to add extra weight. Let's assume that, just to give you an example, that you are working on a roof of a building that is, I don't know, 20 meters high. You have no parapet, so you place your ballast, you choose your panels, but then of course you need more weight because otherwise the wind is going to wipe completely away your installation. So you might add additional weight, you might double the ballast, and to do that, you can choose the accessories. Okay, but we're going to explain a little bit more also this part very soon. So ballast, accessories, and the panels. Okay, this is the very first passages of the work that you can have on the configurator. But let's do a quick survey about these. I'm actually very curious to know something. So quick poll, because I don't know if, there we go, I just launched it, if you also already work on other configurator. So in case, does your current structure supplier provide you with software, with product catalog, system design, and quotes? Okay, so let me know if you do that or if you don't. Well, some of you, so I can see, I don't know. Okay, you're not sure about that. Okay, many of you, they already work, okay, on a configurator. And in this case, well, to those who answered yes, just write in the chat what kind of configurator you're currently using, okay, just out of curiosity, okay. So let's see another couple of seconds, just like a very short interruption before going back to the topic. Oh, some of you said no. Okay, so you do not work with like any configurator. Okay. Okay. So yes, one. Okay, most of you already actually work on a configurator. Okay, perfect. Good to know this as well. Now you have another configurator available, so you can check and see, like with a comparison, see which one is better, which one adapts better to your needs, our configurator or your usual configurator. Now, that said, let's go back to the presentation. This is like the main features that you have in our configurator. So Sun Ballast Elite PV Design Tool. 3D building creation, sketch mode, accessory placement. This is very important here, central. Compatibility analysis. What does that mean? Now, we work, as you can see in the image, on Google Maps. So it means that once you are inside the configurator, Google Maps opens, you choose your roof. So you have to individuate the building, and to do that, you have to insert the exact address of your installation. Once you individuate the building, easy. You just draw the four sides of the building, in case it is like regular, rectangular, and also very important, the obstacles. In case you have obstacles, how large it is, how long it is, how high it is. Okay, this is very important for the shadow, of course. So once you have the measurements and the layout of this roof, you can, as you see in the image on the right, you can have a 3D view. With a 3D view, everything looks more interesting. Don't forget to add also, well, the height of the building, of course, but also the parapet. The presence or the absence of the parapet is extremely important, because when we do the calculation, the wind calculation, of course, if you do not have a parapet, it means that the wind can blow like freely on the roof. And of course, in that case, we might require like more weight, more ballast or more additional weight. So precise with the information about the roof, the height of the building, and the parapet. Okay. In case the building does not exist yet on Google Maps, because maybe it's not updated, what happens? Well, simply you just again draw the measure of the roof, okay, on the spot that is empty, okay, on Google Maps, and you create from the scratch a new building. Okay, then you go on a 3D view, and you have your building, okay, clearly designed. Once you do this, well, the next thing would be to choose the correct system that you want to implement for your installation. So let's say that is an historical building, you have to be very light, then you go for connect system. You have a small roof, save system is the answer. What is interesting with a configurator is that you can have different system in the same roof. It means that you can try the connect system, and then you have another layout with connect system, with save system, with mono XL. Okay, you can have multiple layouts on the same roof. On the converse, if you send us the project, we can analyze just one project at a time. So it is also very useful, this configurator, because you can play and try different systems so that you can see also the production of energy, how it changes. Okay, so once you choose the system, you choose the ballast, you choose the inclination available. We go from 0 to 30 degrees. So it's kind of like a wide range of inclination. Well, the next thing is choosing the panel. Okay, we have a list with the most important, most known panels. So like Trina Solar, Jinko, Canadian Solar. But let's assume that the panel that you're working with is not present in this list. All right, that might happen. And in that case, as you did for the roof, you do the same thing for the panel. You just draw the measures of that panel. Well, this new panel is large, this, and is long, I don't know, these are the measurements. So you recreate the panel from the scratch, and then you can use it on our system. But very important, maybe the most important section of the configurator is the compatibility check. What does that mean? If you use a panel that does not adapt to the system, Sun Ballast, the Elite PV design tool, stops, and it stops you. It blocks, basically. Okay, so you cannot continue with the work. Let's say, just to give you a clearer example, let's say that you want to install, let's say, a 2 meters long panel on a 20 degrees ballast vertical pose. Okay. Well, in that case, the configurator is going to stop because the panel is so long that with that inclination, it will be touching the ground. Okay, this is not possible, of course, the system blocks you. This is very important. Why? Because you're sure that you're not wasting your time. Because otherwise, you would keep on working on a project that is not, that you cannot realize. So then you have to go back and change the system. But thanks to this compatibility check, if you make some wrong connection between panel and system, the configurator stops you. So you can go back and check what adapts to what. That said, we go again, accessory placement. As you can see in the image on the right, you have a grid of panels already designed in red. Now you might want to add some elements like additional weight or double ballast, okay, in case. Now, let's get back to the example that I had. Let's say 20 meters high roof, no parapet. You have your installation realized, very good, but you might want to add some additional weight, okay? Because maybe the wind is very strong up there, so you want to be sure that you have enough weight, so to avoid that the panel flies away or overturns. Okay, so you can place additional weight and anywhere you want. Basically, it is not important where you place them at the moment, because anyway, the project must be shared with our technical department. It is actually the duty of our technical department to certify and validate the technical report. So we do the wind calculation. So, and in case you placed like less additional weight than required, we're going to add as much weight as the installation needs. If you put too many, well, we take them out of the design because you do not need extra weight. You need exactly the weight that is necessary, not less, not more than that. But we do that. Our technical department does that. Once you've done these, then you're going to get like a list of all the elements of the products that your installation needs. So you're going to get a list with all the rubber mats, clamps, accessories, ballasts, of course, and nothing else. Not the panels, not the electrical part, because this is something that comes after that. So you got a list, okay? So you can already have an overview, an idea of the material that you might need for your installation. What else? The electrical design comes now. But before saying a couple of words about this interesting part, quick poll, all right? Because I already illustrate a little bit how the configurator works and what you can do. There are many other options, okay? We do not have a lot of time today, but then you have time actually to enjoy the different option and try out a little bit our configurator. So very quick poll about the configurator itself. So in the light of what I've just told you, let's see what you can tell us about this. Now that you know more about the Sun Ballast PV design tool features, do you think they could be useful? So yes, maybe or no, just to have an idea. Oh, some of you said no. Okay, that is legit, I would say. But in this case, I would like to know why you think that the configurator is not useful. Yes, definitely. Okay. Some of you says maybe. Okay, for some projects, of course. Well, of course, with this configurator, you can work on a very small project, let's say 2 panels. You can do even more, like 1,000 panels. This is not a problem at all. So if you want to work for like bigger projects on the configurator, feel free to do that. Maybe for just a couple of panels is not that necessary for you, but just feel free. Let's see what the vote says. Yes, definitely 1. Okay. But I'm just very curious about the person who said no, because that doesn't happen very often. But please tell me in the chat, if you want, just why you think that it cannot be that useful. Okay. Now, that said, let me just ask you another quick question. And now we go back to the electrical part. There we go. So let's see. How could Sun Ballast PV design tool help you? Okay. Make design faster, use a single platform for all project phases, simplify electrical design, design independently, or speed up the request process. Okay. Let me see what you're interested in. If it's more like the commercial part, okay, so getting a quote quickly. Because as I said, once you get the list with the material, then you can get like an offer quite quickly. So make design faster. That makes absolutely sense. And that is actually the main reason why we developed this configurator. So you can work on your own with all the infos and details for your project on your own, and then send this to us just for the WIM verification. So most of you make design faster, and another good, okay, 40% speed up the quote request process. Okay, so like 40% of you are very interested in the economical part, which makes sense. And this configurator helps you going quickly to the economical part of your work. Okay, good. Interesting to know. Let's go back now. Let's go back to the presentation. So the electrical design. So right after you finished working on your design, you get the list of material. You can now enjoy the electrical design. This is very good because once you've done the design, you can do it with a single tool, with a single configurator, the electrical design. Inverters, you want to work on the strings, you want to, for instance, check, okay, the energy production during the year. You can do that as well. You want to check also the shadow during the day. You can also do that. So everything that is electricity related, it is in the second part of the configurator, right after the designing side. What else? The technical support. Well, as I said, this is central. Either if you work with the configurator or straight with us, directly with us, you're going to always get a technical report and a quote, okay, an offer. In the technical report, you have a resume with all the information of your project, a design, okay, layout of your installation with the products, ballast, and the panels, and the WIM calculation. It doesn't matter if you have 2 panels or if you have 1,000 panels, we are going to give you like a very specific, custom-tailored technical report. Bills of material, of course, the list of all materials, and then, this is very important too, the telephone support. Before the installation, you can call us and we can discuss your project. You can give us some ideas. Maybe you want a single row system, simple, three rows of 5 panels, and we do a technical report. At the same time, Sun Ballast is going to develop a B solution. We do that most of the time, B solution, because if the technical department sees and notice that with our system, we can give you an alternative that, from an economical and technical point of view, is better than your choice, than your very first choice, well, we're going to go for that. We give you solution A, what you want, and solution B, what we think could be very useful for your project. Of course, technical report, solution A, solution B is always for free, always. If you need to change your project because you find out that, I don't know, the parapet, you thought it was 20 centimeters high, well, you find out that there is no parapet, we can do that project again. So we do a new technical report, and it's always for free. So before the installation, during the installation, if you have problems during the installation, you find out again that you do not have enough room for all those panels because you find out on the roof there are more obstacles, then we're going to do another technical report while you are on the roof. So we're going to give you an assistance that is very quick to help you. And also after the installation, let's say that you work on a project, you do a project, and in 1 year time you call us back and you ask for like an integration. You want to extend the PV installation. Perfect. We take back that project done 1 year ago and we extend it. We do another technical report with the integration of your installation. That is also possible. Okay. That said, let me just, because the time is running quite quickly. I've seen that there are questions actually. My bad, because I didn't have much time to reply. Actually, many questions. Okay, I think that's it would be easier for us to reply to these to answer to these questions by email, or we contact you. Okay, no problem. Because I want to conclude the webinar with two information, like very important information. If you want to get close and get familiar with our configurator, so you have a free version, of course. Okay, you go to our website, top right, there is a button, a yellow button, configurator. You click on it, you sign up, and you have access for free to this tool. This is very good because you start working on the configurator. You're trying to, understand what to do, what you can do, how interesting it can be, like changing the system in one single project. So you enjoy the configurator, and then if you want to work and get also the electrical part, because in the free version the electrical part is not present, many features are not present. Well, in that case, I'll quickly show you the possible options that you have. There is a subscription called Elite Pro Plus, and it costs 90 euros per month. Of course, since you go through Sun Ballast, you got 30% off. So normal price would be 129, but is 90% if you go through Sun Ballast. And in that case, you have the electrical part you can work on integrated into this package. And of course, until 1 megawatt of projects, you can work without stop. Okay. After that, in case you are working on many projects, then these other subscription on the right, which is the Elite Business, is more indicated, because here you have no limits of projects. You can make actually like 2,000 projects, 3,000 projects. It doesn't really matter. There is no limit. Okay. And of course, in this package, which is the most comprehensive, you literally have every feature. So electrical part in particular, because we know that the electrical part is going to shorten, okay, sensibly your work. Okay. Now, that said, I said everything. It was like a very intense webinar. We managed to make it in 40 minutes. For the questions, as I said, we're going to reply very soon by email or by phone. In case some of you arrived a bit late, because I saw some guests getting in a bit after the start, no problem. We are going to upload our webinar on the website and also on YouTube. So in case you want to see the first part, feel free to do that. In a couple of days, it's going to be available. So I want to thank you again for sharing your time with us today. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. If you have questions, just please contact us, and I'll meet you again next webinar very soon. So thank you for sharing your time. Have a good day and have a good job. Bye.